What if I told you the swelling around your ankles tonight may not be your heart failing, but a silent drainage problem your body has been struggling with all day? Before you panic, look down at your socks. If the elastic leaves a deep ring around your ankle, if your shoes feel tighter by evening, or if pressing your thumb into the skin leaves a dent that slowly fills back in, your body is sending you a message. For many older adults, that message is not always heart failure. It may be your lymph system, the quiet drainage network that depends on movement, calf muscles, breathing, and gravity to move fluid out of your legs. But here is the part most people miss. If you sit for hours after dinner, that fluid can stay trapped until you lie down, disrupting your sleep and comfort. In this video, I'll show you the warning signs you should never ignore and the simple 3-minute habit that may help your ankles drain before bed. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The sock mark test. Your ankles are sending a message. Tonight, before you blame your heart, I want you to look at something much simpler: the mark your sock leaves behind. For many adults over 60, swollen ankles do not first appear as pain. They show up quietly as a deep ring around the lower leg, shoes that feel tighter after dinner, or skin that looks pressed down long after the sock comes off. That mark is useful because it tells you fluid may be sitting in the tissue around your ankle instead of moving away efficiently. Here is a simple way to check it. At the end of the day, remove your socks and look at both ankles in good light. If the elastic leaves a clear groove, notice whether it disappears quickly or stays for several minutes. Then gently press your thumb about 2 inches above the ankle bone for 10 to 15 seconds. When you lift your thumb, watch the skin. If it leaves a small dent that slowly fills back in, that is called pitting. It does not automatically mean something dangerous is happening, but it does mean your body is giving you information. What matters most is the pattern. Is it happening on both sides? Is it worse at night and better in the morning? Did it come on slowly over weeks or months? Or is one leg suddenly swollen, painful, red, or warm? That last pattern needs medical attention, not a home routine. But if your swelling is gradual, mild, and mostly evening-related, the sock mark can become your first tracking tool. Write it down tonight, because once you understand what the ankle is showing you on the outside, the next question is even more important. What is failing to drain underneath the skin? 2. Not always the heart, but never ignore the heart. Not every swollen ankle is a sign that your heart is failing, but it is never something I want you to dismiss completely. This is where many people get trapped between two mistakes. One person panics and assumes the worst. Another person says it's just age and ignores a warning sign their body may be trying to send. When both ankles become mildly swollen by evening, especially after a long day of sitting, standing, driving, or eating salty prepared foods, the cause may be fluid pooling in the tissues, sluggish vein return, or poor lymph movement. That pattern is very different from swelling that appears suddenly, affects one leg much more than the other, or comes with pain, redness, warmth, chest pressure, or shortness of breath. Those are not wait-and-see symptoms. Those deserve medical attention right away. The heart matters because it is one of the major systems that controls fluid balance. If the heart is under strain, fluid can back up into the legs. But the heart is not the only player. Your kidneys, liver, veins, medications, inflammation, protein levels, and lymph system can all influence whether fluid stays where it belongs or settles around your ankles. So the goal is not to scare you. The goal is to sort the signal from the noise. Look at the pattern. Compare morning to evening. Notice whether swelling improves overnight. Pay attention to breathing, weight changes, pain, and one-sided swelling. Once you know when swelling is dangerous and when it looks more like a drainage pattern, you can finally understand the forgotten system that may be sitting quietly beneath the skin. 3. Meet your forgotten drainage system, the lymph. Most people know they have blood vessels, but very few people were ever taught that the body has a second fluid highway running quietly beside them. That system is called the lymphatic system, and when your ankles feel puffy, heavy, or marked by deep sock lines at the end of the day, lymph may be part of the story. Think of lymph as the body's cleanup and drainage fluid. It helps collect extra fluid, proteins, inflammatory waste, and cellular debris from the spaces around your cells, then returns that fluid back toward the bloodstream. The problem is that lymph does not have a strong central pump like the heart. It depends heavily on body movement, muscle contraction, breathing, and gentle pressure changes to keep fluid moving in the right direction. That matters because the ankles are at the bottom of the system. Gravity is always pulling fluid downward, especially during long hours of sitting, standing, driving, or resting in a recliner. If your calf muscles are not contracting often enough, the lymph vessels do not get the squeezing signal they need. Fluid can slowly collect around the ankles, and by evening your legs may feel tighter, heavier, or less like your own. This does not mean your lymph system is broken. In many cases, it means it is underused. A few small movements done consistently can remind that drainage system to start working again. But to understand why this swelling often gets worse during a normal day, we need to look at the hidden habit that shuts your ankle drainage down for hours at a time. 4. Why sitting after 60 makes swelling worse. Swelling can look the same in the mirror, but medically it does not always mean the same thing. That is why I want you to stop asking only, "Are my ankles swollen?" and start asking, "What kind of swelling pattern am I seeing?" Lymph-related swelling often feels soft, puffy, and heavy. It may be worse later in the day, better after sleeping, and sometimes it shows up around the top of the foot, not just the ankle. You may notice deep sock marks, mild pitting when you press the skin, or a feeling that the foot looks filled rather than sharply painful. This pattern often becomes more noticeable after long sitting, limited walking, or several hours without calf movement. Vein-related swelling has a different personality. It often gets worse after standing for a long time. You may see varicose veins, aching, tight calves, or brownish skin changes near the ankle. This happens when the veins have trouble pushing blood upward, so pressure builds in the lower legs and fluid leaks into the surrounding tissue. Dangerous swelling is the one you must not try to manage with a home routine. If one leg suddenly becomes much more swollen than the other, especially with pain, redness, warmth, or tenderness, you need medical attention. If swelling comes with shortness of breath, chest pressure, fainting, sudden weight gain, or trouble breathing while lying flat, that also needs urgent evaluation. The point is not to diagnose yourself perfectly. The point is to recognize the pattern early enough to respond wisely. And once you know what kind of swelling you may be seeing, the next step is learning a simple test that can help you track it at home. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 5. 5. The difference between lymph swelling, vein swelling, and dangerous swelling. Swollen ankles may look like one simple problem, but in medicine, the pattern matters. Two people can have ankles that look almost identical, yet one may have a slow drainage issue, another may have vein pressure, and another may need urgent medical evaluation. That is why I do not want you to judge swelling by appearance alone. I want you to notice how it behaves. Lymph-related swelling often feels soft, puffy, and heavy, almost as if the foot and ankle are holding water under the skin. It may be worse in the evening, better after a night of sleep, and sometimes more noticeable across the top of the foot. You may see deep sock marks or a small dent after pressing the skin. This pattern often shows up after long sitting, limited walking, or hours without calf movement. Vein-related swelling has a different pattern. It often worsens after standing for a long time. The legs may ache, feel tight, or look darker around the lower shin or ankle. Some people notice varicose veins or a tired, heavy feeling that builds during the day. This happens when blood has trouble moving upward, pressure rises in the lower legs, and fluid leaks into nearby tissue. Dangerous swelling is different. If one leg suddenly becomes much larger than the other, especially with pain, redness, warmth, or tenderness, do not treat it as a simple drainage problem. If swelling comes with chest pressure, shortness of breath, fainting, rapid weight gain, or trouble breathing while lying flat, get medical help promptly. Once you can separate these patterns, the next step is learning a simple test that helps you track what your ankles are telling you at home. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 6. 6. The 30-second pit test and shoe test. A swollen ankle becomes much easier to understand when you stop guessing and start tracking it. That is where the 30-second pit test can help. It is not a diagnosis, and it does not replace your doctor, but it gives you a simple way to notice whether fluid is sitting in the tissue instead of moving away efficiently. Here is how to do it safely. Sit down in a chair with both feet flat on the floor. Find the bony area along the front or inner side of your lower leg about 2 inches above the ankle. Press your thumb gently but firmly into the skin for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then lift your thumb and look closely. If the skin springs back right away, that is reassuring. If it leaves a dent that slowly fills in, that is called pitting. The longer the dent stays, the more fluid may be sitting in that area. Now pair that with the shoe test. Notice how your shoes feel in the morning compared with late afternoon or evening. If they slide on easily after breakfast but feel tight by dinner, your swelling may be following a daily fluid pattern. This is especially useful for people who do not notice swelling until it starts affecting walking, balance, or comfort. The key is consistency. Do the test at the same time each day for 1 week. Write down whether the swelling is mild, moderate, or worse than usual. Also write down anything that may have contributed: a salty meal, a long car ride, several hours sitting, warmer weather, or less water than normal. But be careful. If the swelling is sudden, painful, red, hot, mostly one-sided, or comes with chest pressure or shortness of breath, skip the test and get medical help. If the pattern is gradual and evening-related, this test can help you see progress clearly. And next, we need to talk about the daily triggers that quietly make those dents deeper. 7. 3 everyday triggers that quietly worsen evening swelling. Most people look for one dramatic reason their ankles swell, but the real cause is often built into an ordinary day. The first quiet trigger is hidden sodium. I am not just talking about the salt shaker. Canned soups, deli meats, frozen dinners, restaurant meals, crackers, cheese, sauces, and packaged breads can carry far more sodium than people realize. Sodium pulls water into the tissues, and for someone whose legs already drain slowly, that can make the evening sock mark deeper and the shoes feel tighter. The second trigger is long sitting after dinner. This one is easy to miss because it feels harmless. You eat, sit down in the recliner, watch television, and finally relax. But during those quiet hours, your calf muscles are barely moving. That means the lower leg pump that helps move fluid upward is not getting activated. By bedtime, the ankles have spent hours collecting fluid with very little help moving it out. The third trigger is not drinking enough water during the day. Many people with swelling try to drink less because they think less water means less fluid in the legs. But dehydration can make fluid movement more sluggish. The better strategy is steady hydration earlier in the day, then tapering in the evening so you are not waking up all night. The action step is simple. For 1 week, watch these 3 triggers. Choose one high-sodium food to reduce, move your ankles during evening television, and drink more consistently before late afternoon. Once you understand what makes swelling worse, the next step is learning what actually helps your lymph system move again. 8. What actually supports lymph flow? After 60, your lymph system does not need punishment. It needs steady, gentle signals. That is an important difference because many people try to fix swollen ankles by forcing harder exercise, drinking less water, or sitting with their feet up all evening. Those choices may feel logical, but they do not always address the real issue. Fluid needs movement, pressure change, and a clear path back upward. The first support is frequent calf movement. Your calf muscles act like a natural pump for the lower legs. Even small movements, ankle pumps, slow heel raises, walking around the kitchen, or standing during a commercial break, can help remind fluid to move instead of settling around the ankles. The second support is smart hydration. You do not need to flood your body at night. Instead, sip water steadily earlier in the day, especially if you take medications, drink coffee, or spend time in warm weather. When the body is dehydrated, fluid movement can become more sluggish and swelling may feel tighter. The third support is gentle elevation. Raising your legs slightly above hip level for a few minutes can reduce the pull of gravity. But elevation works best when paired with movement, not when you simply lie still for hours. Nutrition also matters. Adequate protein helps maintain fluid balance inside the blood vessels unless your doctor has told you to restrict protein for kidney or liver disease. Lowering hidden sodium can reduce extra fluid stress. The goal is not perfection. It is consistency. And now that you understand what supports lymph flow, the next step is the simple 3-minute habit that puts these ideas together before bedtime. 9. The 3-minute ankle drain habit before bed. The best time to help swollen ankles is not after they have bothered you all night. It is before you get into bed while you are still awake, steady, and in control. This 3-minute habit is designed to be gentle, not aggressive. If you feel pain, dizziness, chest pressure, or unusual shortness of breath, stop and call your doctor. Start sitting on the edge of your bed or in a sturdy chair. For the first minute, do slow ankle pumps. Pull your toes up toward your face, then point them down away from you. Do not rush. The goal is to squeeze and release the muscles around the ankle and calf so fluid has a reason to move upward. For the second minute, keep your feet on the floor and lift both heels slowly, then lower them back down. If balance is a concern, stay seated. If you are steady and have something solid to hold, you may do gentle standing heel raises instead. This wakes up the calf pump, one of the most important helpers for moving fluid out of the lower legs. For the third minute, lie back safely and elevate your legs on pillows so your ankles are slightly higher than your hips. Breathe slowly into your belly. If comfortable, use flat fingers to make very light upward strokes from the ankle toward the knee. Never press hard, never massage downward, and never work over red, hot, painful skin. Do this about 60 to 90 minutes before bed, then notice how your ankles, shoes, and nighttime bathroom trips change over time. But the real proof comes from tracking it, and that is why the next step is the 14-day retest. 10. The 14-day retest. Make the change visible. The real value of this habit is not just how your ankles feel tonight. It is what you can measure over the next 2 weeks. Many people live with swelling for so long that they stop noticing small changes. They only pay attention when their shoes no longer fit, their socks leave deep grooves, or their legs feel heavy enough to change how they walk. The 14-day retest gives you a clearer picture. Tonight, before you begin, check 3 things. Look at your sock mark. Press gently above the ankle and see whether a dent stays in the skin. Then notice how your shoes feel at the end of the day. Do not overthink it. Just write down a simple note, mild, moderate, or severe. Also note how many times you wake up at night to urinate because evening fluid buildup can sometimes show up later as interrupted sleep. For the next 14 days, do the 3-minute ankle drain habit consistently while also watching the triggers we discussed: long sitting, hidden sodium, and poor daytime hydration. Try not to change 10 things at once because then you will not know what actually helped. Keep it simple enough that you can repeat it. At the end of 2 weeks, repeat the same sock mark, pit, shoe, and sleep checks. If the swelling is clearly better, your body may be responding to better drainage signals. If it is unchanged, worsening, painful, one-sided, red, warm, or linked with shortness of breath or rapid weight gain, it is time to speak with your doctor. Your ankles are not just swelling, they are giving you data, and now you know how to read it wisely. Important warning: swollen ankles can be common, but they should never be ignored. This 3-minute habit is only meant for mild, gradual swelling that is similar on both sides, worse in the evening, and better after a night of rest. Do not use a home routine as a substitute for medical care if one leg suddenly becomes much more swollen than the other, especially with pain, redness, warmth, or tenderness. That can be a sign of a blood clot. If swelling comes with chest pressure, shortness of breath, fainting, rapid weight gain, trouble breathing while lying flat, or new severe fatigue, call your doctor promptly or seek urgent care. And please do not stop any prescribed water pill, blood pressure medicine, heart medicine, or kidney medication without your clinician's guidance. Final takeaway: your ankles are not betraying you. They may be giving you an early message that fluid is not moving as well as it should. For many people, the answer is not panic, and it is not ignoring the problem. It is learning the pattern, watching the warning signs, and giving the legs gentle movement at the right time. 3 minutes before bed will not replace medical care, but it can help you understand your body, support drainage, and take back a little more control over your comfort, your sleep, and your confidence. Your ankles are giving you an early warning. As we grow older, the body often whispers before it shouts. A sock mark, a tight shoe, a heavy feeling in the legs at night. These may seem small, but small signals can become bigger problems when we ignore them for months or years. Swollen ankles do not always mean your heart is failing, but they do mean your body deserves your attention. The deeper lesson is this: After a certain age, health is no longer protected by one big decision. It is protected by small daily corrections. Moving your legs, watching sodium, staying hydrated, noticing patterns, and knowing when to call your doctor. If you act now, the next 1 to 5 years can be years of better mobility, better sleep, and more confidence in your own body. If you ignore the signs, stiffness, swelling, poor sleep, and fear can quietly take more space in your life. Your body is still working for you. Help it work smarter. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell, so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.